Okay. Hello, everyone. It's Kim Duramo. I wanted to pop in. There were so many things that happened today. I had some private sessions with clients that were massive, so powerful. And one of the things I stopped in yesterday to talk about was how it's the power of your presence, of the space you are holding that has everything within that space happen. Either like the seas part and the road is clear and you move through your life fluidly, or opportunities show up, serendipities happen, your timing's perfect. Or the opposite, right? Glitchiness, miscommunication, obstacles constantly in the way, and have that be your experience. So whether it's in your health or in your life or your work, your space of being is really the biggest determining factor in what happens. And so I had this amazing session with this incredible woman today. And so much of it was like just holding space to let the transmutation happen. Like her system was really fast. And as I'm always doing in sessions, like I'm not leading it, I'm listening and I'm listening and I'm listening and I'm guided. And this was like the most powerfully I've ever felt that presence of guidance. It was like, do nothing, hold the space. And I always tune into the person's body, and it was like, anchor down in your pelvis, because she was getting more, up in her head. It was like, get down in your body, breathe. But so much was happening in her system. It was absolutely incredible. And this is a person who's like, doing expansive work. She's just starting to do healing work with tones. And, a lot of us are aware that, the future of medicine is in frequency. Even Albert Einstein said, like, the future of medicine will be in frequency. And now we're like, over 100 years later, we're still barely figuring that out. But certainly the work she's doing is so powerful with tones and frequency. And it reminded me of a story many years back. I think it must have been like 7 years ago. Well, 6 years ago, right after we first moved out here. And I created this program, which is now the Be the Medicine program, to assist other practitioners in doing more expansive work. And I had the understanding that, if I'm working hard and like boom, it's really limited what people can receive from me, right? Like real healing doesn't happen when we're in that contracted space. But if I'm in a space of, I'm here in my body, I'm breathing, I'm present, I'm aware of what's happening, not just what's happening around me, but what's happening within me. I'm aware of what's happening with my patient. So much more can happen. So I put this together and I created this like $100,000 program. And it was, for people to come and work with me. And here was the layout if we did this privately. So it was over a year, and it was like $100,000 per person. And I created like, what would that look like? What would they have to receive that would be so massive that they would know, like, yes, this was absolutely worth my investment. So I wrote this thing out and it was amazing. And it was so powerful, and I could feel the frequency of it. I could feel what this work would do in the world. And I remember sharing it with this one friend who was doing work that was also really awakening, but he was in like a very different vibe. Like I didn't realize how different. So I shared with him, here's what I created and it's amazing. And he goes, I don't get it. And I immediately, my hand just wrote down, Kim, he is not your avatar. He is not your person. He is not your avatar. It doesn't matter, because my heart was crushed like, oh shoot. If I can't explain this to people, if this doesn't make sense, this isn't worth anything. This is nothing. What is this? What am I even thinking? And that's what started to come in. But then it was like, nope, he is not your person. He is not even in the vicinity of who is here to receive this. And so I just, hey, that's great. That's fine. I guess I'll work on it, and I got off the phone and I realized this is not something most people even can really understand. Like that we are creators. That our presence is the medicine, that our emanation. If you didn't see the workshop last week, I shared a little bit about like the energy body, and how we are transmitting a message, a signal, a broadcast. And that makes all the difference not just in how people see us, but like literally shifts people's physiology. You know, is that person going to be more receptive to you or more paranoid and like, oh, I can't listen to you, depending on your embodiment. And so, the point is that there are so many people who understand this. There are so many people who are like, oh, that makes sense to me. And I do want to embody that. And I do want to be that space and consciousness of what I'm here to create. So whether it's like in your work, in your business, in your family, just in your world, who are you here to be? And and this is really what the Be the Medicine course is, and it's not $100,000 course. This is a whole different structure I've created to work with a group. But in the Be the Medicine program, it's about how do I embody the consciousness of that knowing, right? In our inner knowing, we know I am whole, all is well. I am a creator. The life is abundant. Life is on my side. It's okay for me to relax and breathe and let healing happen and let life flow. And so in that knowing, it's a consciousness, right? And so if you're trying to create your life and make it be this thing, but you're actually functioning from here, like fear, separation, I'm not enough, I need to make it better, it's never going to happen. So how do we integrate this consciousness, this higher consciousness in our embodiment, in our cells, so that it's in our transmission, it's in everything we do, and it's in us, it's in how we feel, it's in who we're being, that we're nurtured by it first and foremost. Because most practitioners who are here to assist others awakening or health and expansion are actually kind of excluding themselves from the equation. And this woman was in the same boat. She's like, I'm my work in process, but let me hold space for these people, and not understanding how do I put myself in that equation, that it's healing me as it's healing them. And that is the essential, like major essential component. You have to include yourself in that work and in that business structure. It's kind of the opposite of what's done in medicine, where it's like, if I'm in that structure operating as a physician in that structure, I go to work, and the more I give, the more I'm depleted. The more hours I would be in the ER, the more exhausted I'd be when I get home. The more I'd give to others, the more depleted I would feel. And my work I do now is like, it brings me to life. It gives me more vitality at the end of the day than what I had going in it. It fuels me. And it also feeds my family. It fuels my life. Like it gives so much. It contributes so much to me and to my life because I'm willing to embody it. And so we can't leave ourselves out of the equation. And so a business in separation is very different from a business in wholeness. And so for a lot of people who are like using EFT and bringing others like healing modalities or coming up with creative new ways of doing things, if they're functioning from separation and fear, it will never quite be what they know it could be. And I've had people tell me like, oh, I was doing that, but then I quit. I was just too exhausted from all the marketing and too exhausted from all that social media stuff. Oh, I had to let it all go. It made my autoimmune disease come back. I'm like, oh no, that is not the way you're meant to do it. Like, you're meant to do it from wholeness, which means you embody that consciousness. It serves you first. And then everything you do comes from that. Everything you do, it is sending that signal so people can feel you. So healing happens even just looking at you. Like I know when this woman, if someone walks in the room with her, this woman I had the private session with today, someone just walks in the room with her. Her presence is so powerful. And from what we moved today, it was like 100x more, 100 times more powerful. You could feel it. It was palpable. And so in a place like that, when you interface with someone, even not in the physical room, your system picks up that resonance, right? Mirror neuron effect. That was also in the workshop last week. If you didn't see the workshop, it's at drkimd.com/workshop. It's free and it's still available. But mirror neuron effect, it's a download into your system from that mentor or speaker or whatever of the consciousness they're in. It literally repatterns your system, your electromagnetics, your freaking DNA. That's how receptive your system is. So I was sharing the other day, When I worked with a coach and I had this intention for like what I'd be doing in my work, what I'd be doing in my business, and it was like super expansive, right? Like I'm standing in my highest joy and inviting others to do the same. I'm working as much or as little as I like. I'm free in my lifestyle. I'm freely expressed. And a lot of this was like, am I just pipe dreaming here? Like work as much or as little as I want. How do I just determine that? That doesn't fit in the world. But in my knowing, it did. It was like, yep, I'm having this. Yes, this is available for me. So I kept choosing it and choosing it and choosing it. And I'm living it. I love the work I do, as the more I do it, the more lit up I am, right? The opposite of where most people are functioning from, that the harder they work, the more depleted they are. So there are many things the heart will call us to. If we'll listen, we'll let that be created. And so when I was mentoring with that woman, like she didn't even have that, right? So I didn't even have a mentor who was living the embodiment of what I was intending for. I had to just keep telling myself it was possible. I had to just keep, and she was super helpful for that for me. But I'm like, wow, even without someone in my world that even had that, I still was able to tune in. And how powerful is it to have mentorship with someone who's in that frequency and in that consciousness? This is what has made the biggest difference for me in my life. And that mirror neuron effect transmits to your system, right? And you literally receive a download. And you could choose it or keep bumping it out. But, if you're choosing wholeness and you're choosing prosperity and you're choosing to live what your heart's desires have in store for you, it's a really powerful way to step into that. Missa Flow. I've noticed my system has been in recalibration since your interview with Kyle. Oh, that's so awesome. I did a Mind Body TV broadcast last week, I think it was. Yeah. With Kyle Cease, who's just so awesome. And it was an amazing, amazing experience. Like if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It was longer than most broadcasts I have done, but like so potent, so powerful. That will be on my YouTube channel, Dr. Kim Duramo on YouTube. So yeah, that was, I'm not surprised. That definitely put a lot of people into a massive up-leveling. Nadine said, your value, Dr. Kim, is more than just the information you share. It's the space and vibration you hold while you're communicating that information, even in your recordings. Yes. And it's funny because I knew on some level how that works, and I've studied a lot of the science of it, and I share a lot of that stuff. But even that seemed like, how can that work? How will that happen? But it was like, no, watch the video. Like I have told people, watch the video, even of some of my work when people can't move and they're watching like the liquid dance program and there's like a lot of motion. And it was like, nope, just let your system take this in. It will move energy in your body. And the first 2 testimonials I got back from that program were like, oh my God, I'm paralyzed. I'm in a wheelchair, I'm bed bound. I felt all the energy move in my body and I have less pain. So it's true. It's the space and consciousness that we hold that allows things to take place in our lives or for the people we're working with. So the Be the Medicine program, for those of you who would like to take this journey with me, it's a 4-month journey with my mentorship. And it's basically, how do we integrate that being and that presence and that consciousness? Because it will transmute everything else that's not who we really are. And I think it's like, how do I begin functioning from that knowing? Instead of like, okay, I have this knowing, but I'm still functioning in fear, trying to put my business together. Or like, all right, I have this understanding, but I'm still trying to help people. Why can't I just fill my programs? No. How do we actually integrate it and begin functioning from here so that everything that gets created in our lives is in this higher reality? That's really what we're doing. You're creating a new world. You're creating a new life. You're creating a new experience. And to be in abundance is not just I'm having it look like this and I'm getting money and I'm doing what I love. It's I'm in the resonance of my truth, right? I fully accept myself unconditionally. And we can have that right now, wherever we sit, whatever circumstances we're in. We can have that more and more unconditionally, right? It doesn't need to be fully unconditionally. Don't put pressure on yourself, but less conditionally, right? Like, well, I'll feel whole once this, and this are in place. Okay, you got a lot of conditions, right? You're never going to get there. But if you make it just 2% less conditional, like, all right, I don't like what's happening, but I'm willing to be a little bit more at peace with it. You bring more peace into the space you're at. So that's the abundance coming in. That's what changes your circumstances. That's what changes your life. Are you willing to be where you are as you are with greater willingness? So that is my invitation for you today. The Be the Medicine program starts next week on, hi, Stacy, on Tuesday. These have been really, really powerful. When we've done them in the past, we've done them, I think it's been 7 times I've run through this course, and have met some absolutely amazing practitioners doing incredible things, healing, like I was saying about this woman earlier, with tones, which we know frequencies actually penetrate into your body. They even change your DNA and your genetics. So we've seen now scientifically how this happens, although it's not been integrated into conventional science or conventional medicine, but it is very well understood in the scientific literature that energy frequency directly affects the cells, directly affects the genes and everything that makes life as it is. These are important things to begin to integrate in your own life or in your practice if you're working with others. And how do you harness that, right? It's not so technical because it's from your embodiment. Are you embodying a space of peaceful, willing presence? Or are you still holding your own judgments, your own resentments, your own angers, your own, fill in the blank? You're gonna experience that. Life's a reflection of you. So I would love to invite any of you who are ready for this. The link is at drkimd.com/BTM. And I'm happy to answer any questions about that. If they come up, you can email us at support@drkimd.com. All right. I love you guys. And I'm glad you guys liked last week's Mind Body TV. With Kyle Cease. It was absolutely incredible. I'll do one this week, which is more about gratitude. It's Thanksgiving in the US this week, and manifesting. How do we actually manifest? What are the mechanics of that? How does the body create that signal that changes our reality, changes our circumstances, and has different things show up? So I'm really excited to share some of the science and tools for that. So stay tuned for Mind Body TV this week. I'll be there live at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. You can join on my YouTube channel. And if you go to my bio here in Instagram, the Be the Medicine program link will be there. And I think the workbook link is up there too. I mean, the workshop. So lots to offer. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.